Hello everyone, Nigel with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. Going to start by saying, excuse my fingernails, I've been out working on the Fiat. In fact, my whole hands are grubby, so that's why my hands are a bit grubby. Here we are now, back with this lovely little Takom T28, M28, whatever you want to call it. This is the double box set with the book, and it's available now from Tiger Hobbies. Look in the description below. So, did a little parts count yesterday, and what I started doing was putting together a list of the assemblies. So, the tracks. There's 2,400 parts in the tracks, as we all know. These bogies you can see here, suspension units, HVSS, what do you call them, 272 parts. So that's like a full kit in itself. So I thought, well, I'll look at the sprue diagrams and count the parts on here. Now remember, this is the M28, so it's got a couple of extra parts because you've got the drums and everything on the back. But in plastic parts alone, 3,374 parts. So that's roughly... that's going to be roughly 6,500 parts for the two kits. So if you like high part counts and you see value for money as part count, then this is probably the cheapest kit on the market. So I don't know how any other kits that have got 6,500 parts. Anyway, so I thought I'd show you what I've got up to, and you might be wondering what these metal blocks are here. So you can see here we've got the sprockets done, and what they are, there's these sprockets here, which are, these are going to go into the outboard tracks, and they have a spline on them, as you can see there, which is beautifully moulded. And then this is this is from the powered unit, from the actual main tank itself, and you can see the detail on those is incredible. So what happens is they bolt on this ring, which has an internal spline, which again is beautifully moulded, and then on the back of here there is one lug, and that locates in there. And the trouble is, it's got, as you can see, there's movement in there, and I don't want to get it off center. So what I'm going to do, I think, is leave gluing it until we bring the two halves together, and then what happens is that spline goes in there, and that actually drives that sprocket through the driven wheel. So it's all very well engineered and very well designed and beautifully detailed. Now somebody has asked if you could actually have it so that the outer sections are removable, so that you could differentiate between having it towed. You know, you've got the actual, as you can see here, if you're not familiar with this tank, you can have it built up like this with all four tracks, or you can have it in travel mode where you take off these outer two tracks and it tows. And what their reason for it was, they were saying that when you actually build it like this, like as you can see here, all of this lovely suspension, everything is all covered up. Whereas if you build it in towing mode, then you'll have all that lovely suspension exposed on the actual tank itself. And also because you flip these round, you have all that lovely detail exposed as well. So there's also, if you get the double kit, you get a book with it. Go and have a look at my review if you haven't seen it. And the book has pictures of the one remaining tank being actually stripped for restoration. And when it was actually redone in 1980 or something, whatever it was, they actually, in the mating halves on the faces where they bolt together, there's some words and stuff painted on it. So you could actually do yourself a little, you could build that model, which is actually all real because there's photos of it. So as I say, you might be wondering what these blocks are for. What I do when I do stuff like these idlers, as you can see here, they're just glued together with a central pin. So to make sure they remain square, so when you roll them they're not all wonky and they remain sort of like this, so they're not all going like this, I use metal blocks. And as you can see what I've done here with the return rollers, I've put them on there. And then, if you notice, I haven't sanded off any sprue gates or any seams or anything. And they just sit like that. And then that one is again sat on the other six. Okay? And they just sit like that. And that weight will not only keep them together, but it will make sure they remain parallel. Otherwise, if you get them like this, when you turn them, they're all going like that. Not that you're going to be turning them anyway, but it's just, you know, you may as well get it right. So that's what those blocks are there for. So they're actually in the way, but never mind. I then went on to do these supports. Now, something I've realised here, I am going to move these blocks actually because they are in the way. So we'll put those over there for now. We'll put that that up on there for now, and they've been under there for about half an hour, so they should be fairly dry. So we move these up here. Okay, so there's a couple of things with regard to these supports. You make 2 of these, make 6 of these, make 2 of these. This is actually incorrect. As you can see here, we've got G65. I'll bring it closer to the camera so you can see what I'm talking about. You've got G65 here, which becomes A, and A is there and there. Okay, and you can see those hooks are facing backwards, and for some reason they have straps on them that pull the I don't know if it's for track changes or what they do, but they use hooks to pull up the suspension units, maybe for lifting them up or something, I don't know. And that's what they're for. So you can see that this is make 2, G65, F13, hooks going backwards, and that becomes A. And then here you've got C, which is G64, which is basically the same part, F13, and they've got that facing backwards as well. It should face forwards. When you actually look at the pictures in the book that comes with the kit, you can see that these hooks always face the sprocket, the back. Okay, so those 2 there, as you can see, they're going in there into G64C, which is that one there and that one there. When you put them in, those hooks would face forward. So make sure you put those in the other way around to what they're showing you. If you want to see proof, because you don't believe me because you think I'm lying, page 20. Okay, you can see we've got the similar thing here on the outboard tracks, and you can see here you've got G66 and you've got F13, and again the hook is facing the sprocket. Okay, and I think it was page 26, wasn't it? Page 26. Look at that, it's always the bloody same, isn't it? You can see here, G67, the hooks are going on and they're facing the sprocket. So when you do the first bit of your build, when you do this, make sure you turn those around and have them facing, as we're looking at it now, facing forward, and then when you flip them around and put them on, well, they'll be facing back. The other thing to note is when you, I haven't even built up this hull yet, it's all still in the bags. When you put these on, these are going to mate up with, I don't know if we actually get a picture of them. They're going to mate up with those, aren't they? So they're going to mate up with those. Hang on a minute. Okay, here we go. So if you look on here, you can see on the instructions, this is obviously the main tank. We've got these little supports sticking out, and in here you've got a pin, G53, which is going to go into those holes. Okay, now those pins are in turn going to have to line up with these here. So we need to make sure that everything is nice and square. Now the beauty of this is, excuse me a second. Yeah, the beauty of this is I've been asked if you could make these detachable. The answer is yes, because you've got all these pins holding it together. I'm not even sure if you need magnets. You know, you could perhaps use I'm not sure what size these pins are. I've got the G-sprue here, G53. Let me grab my little digital calipers. G53. Yeah, 1.5 mil. So what you could do is use a 1.5 mil steel rod in here, or even just put a magnet in each hole, and then they'll just pull together and keep these pins around the top because they're part of the design. So there's lots of different ways we can go with that, but the main reason I wanted to get this video out now with not a lot to show you is to tell you if you're building one, they're the wrong way around. Okay, so there we go. It looks like a very, very fun build. It's also very, very tedious and very, very repetitive, but it's quite fun. It's quite enjoyable, and but there's going to be a lot of accuracy required, as I say, when we fit these. Probably best, actually, thinking about it, it's probably best to not fit these at this stage, because they're just going in on all they've got on the back is a single pin like that, and they've all got that. You've got to line up. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that's got to line up with another 5, which again are the same thing with just a pin on. And you can imagine the slightest bit of misalignment that's going to pull it all out. So I think it might be better to dry build the outer shell, tape it together, and then plonk it on or something. I don't know, when does the upper hull go on? You've got those brackets there going on which hold the pins. See, once again, there's another manufacturer that having you put all these details on and then add the hull. I'd rather add the hull and then add the details, because they only get in the way when you want to start taping and clamping and stuff. So yeah, we'll have a look at that when we come to it. It's going to take some thought about how to get it to go together nicely. But these holes, they are, how deep are they? I need to find something I can shove in there. Use my glue looper. It's not. It's right. It's not wet. Yeah, so they're only a couple of mil deep. So we could just use some magnets in them, and then avoid the use of the pins, which also gets rid of the need for the precise alignment. Anyway, there we go. Hope you enjoyed that little video. What's that? It's only a few minutes, but just to let you know, I'm still here and I'm still working on this this project. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.